Hey everybody, hope you're doing really well today. I just really wanted to touch base. I missed a day of posting because I was just really busy. Been preparing for depositions and working on some large losses and just dealing with a lot of this and that while traveling, and including that frankly I had kind of a rough sleepless day yesterday because my dog that is 17 years old is in the hospital and not doing all that well. I grant you he's 17 years old and there's a season for everything. But nonetheless, it's painful, and I look forward to getting to him hopefully tomorrow. Anyway, I hope everybody has had a wonderful week. I have really enjoyed talking with so many of you and getting to know you, and just seeing the diversity of the people that are out here, and you know how many of us just really do believe in the cult of the insured. Today, I'm going to show you a version, a little bit snipped because I'm going to take out some things that I can't share, but I'm going to show you a version of one of the loss documentaries that we did, and it was about it ended up being almost a $38 million claim, and in this particular case, it was built to be a jury-ready kind of documentary that would deliver some legit shock and awe to those that saw it, to have it, touch them emotionally. And we got got a lot of love for this. It was a labor of love. It was one of the hottest losses that I've been in a long time. And it was very complex because the way that the water cascaded through this very old structure was difficult to track and find all those pathways. And the causes of loss were so diverse, from windows to roofs to chase covers to piping to stucco roofs, you name it. It all pretty much played in that arena. So without much fanfare, let's roll that intro and go right into the documentary. I hope you enjoy it. It'll take a little while to watch. If you like it, give it a watch and tell me what you think. As the artist, I gotta tell you, I'm always critical of my work, so I don't know if I can even look at this myself. Have a great day. I'll see you tomorrow. Looking at a pretty nice loss on my way home.
You know you got me wild, you got me feeling like, oh, she make me feel alive, make me feel alive, she make me feel alright, she makes me feel alive, make me feel alive. Till you come back home, until you come back home, until you come back home, till you come back home.
All this physical damage, which we can just see, and it tells a great story, because there's nothing about this damage that's a far stretch. It's not hard to understand. The simple fact is, strong winds, and in fact to some degree chunky winds, hit this building. This building has, just on one floor, for example, on the like the fourth floor, for example, it has 93 rooms. Over half of those 93 rooms had sand in them following the storm. Sand. It completely compromised the windows.
it did damage to so much on the interior while literally thrashing the stucco on the exterior of the building, the Spanish tile roofs, the flat roofs, the mechanical structures, you name it. Everywhere you look, from the pool to the very top of this building, to its first floor or its penthouse, you see the same message. Irma damaged this facility in the tens of millions.
Okay, when the story come, he raped all the Mexican tiles in the roof, and part of the north side, east side of the wing, the roof rough up. Part of those is already repaired temporarily. We still got a lot of tiles in the floor and loosened tiles ready to come down. And we got like about 30 chase is all the way open in the roof. So all the time we would have come, we got a problem.
Easy. Well, the roof's inside. Oh.
One of the things about this particular loss, which is so obvious no matter which direction you come from the property, because it's such an architectural key point of the Hollywood Beach Resort, are these Spanish tile roofs. These are made in Venezuela. We think they're around 40 years old. But you can see this one, you can see this one. Back over my shoulder, you can see even more. Every single place, every roof on this structure that has Spanish tile roofs must be replaced. It's all damaged.
Is there anything that was damaged by the storm that you feel if it's not fixed soon, it's going to get a lot worse very quickly? You know, a lot worse sooner than later.
To me, I think it's the chase. Okay. Because the water get inside and it going to the walls, straight from the top all the way down, and it can make them a lot of damage.
Yeah, it looks like probably about 40% of those covers are damaged.
It's gone.
It's about like 60% or so are actually damaged.
Especially in the south side. Yeah.
Yes, especially on the south side.
This is where we had the roof actually got ripped off. They had to do temporary repairs. Everything below me, everything is wet, and consistently so. And there's almost nothing they can do about it. This was the best they could do. Here's another good example of covers that are missing. And you can see how it creates a cavernous hole in the structure.
walk in the couple of how you call it, storage in the first floor.
Yes.
Down.
See some water there. Yes. And some of that looks like that's coming from the mod bit roof that's angled,
Yeah.
and it looks like it's got a bunch of swollen areas where water.
Like an air pocket.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. It wasn't always like that. Right?
No.
Okay.
That's what they call an air pocket because air get inside, so you don't blow it nowhere. But if you blow it, the water gonna get inside by that.
You know, right here, we see exactly the same situation we found in so many places on this building. We got new, very fresh cracks in the stucco. Major uplift and major striking from these. We're gonna see this over and over again. This is a great picture up close of exactly how this looks.
It's been months and months of constant rains, but through investigation and stakeholder management with the housekeeping staff, we were able to note that directly after the storm, from floors 2 in the hotel all the way up to 7 was pooling and active leaking, and in the penthouse in the central area was leaking that was cascading down the steps. It's hard for that area to pool, but if it was a flat hallway like the rest of them, it would have pooled as well. So we know that the carpets took pooling, and a considerable amount of it. What we don't know is how much it's taken since the storm, but we know that it has taken some. These temporary repairs are so necessary at this point with the way that not only the windows are taking damage, but remember, these are temporary repairs that are also happening on the ceiling and crown molding. But keeping in context the windows, these temporary repairs are so necessary to stop, like we've mentioned before, sanding and the pooling of water, that if these aren't done, they cannot operate. Basically, it has the ability to happen because the wind damage on the exterior went around the windowsills. So there's, in certain rooms, you can see daylight next to the window in between the wall. Now this bit of daylight is imperative for something as microscopic as sand getting in the room. And as it whips up the beach and up the building, that's how it gets in the rooms. And temp repairs can fight this, but when you're on the beach and on a calm day the winds are 10 to 15 miles an hour, a little bit of plaster is going to give way eventually. Out of code.
2006, 2007.
Yeah.
So they were probably replaced.
Yes. Correct.
Chris, what would you say is the most important thing to happen at the end of this process? It's insurance company.
Well, from an interior perspective, I mean, you can't do anything else to the walls or anything, but the windows are imperative. We've already spoken about how that these windows are out of code. A lot of these windows are damaged. They have slight dents. They're taking damages like leaks through them. But you have these breathtaking views that really nobody else has on Hollywood Beach. I mean, if you look to the west, it's still beautiful, and if you look to the east, you have some of the most prime beachside property available. I mean, condos are going just north of here in the millions. Jimmy Buffett put the Margaritaville 500 feet north of here for a reason. But these windows are taking new damages every single time it rains. These temp repairs as they come to keep this place as beautiful as it can be. Right, like these temp repairs happen, and when they happen at critical mass. Not just one window gets damaged when it rains, because I believe 150 windows, give or take, face the ocean straight up. So when it rains, 150 new windows need temp repairs, and there's 3 to 4 maintenance people on staff at one time. You make one repair and you have a list of 10. I mean, if we were to take a list of all of the temp repairs that happened, and from Irma till now, we could make a several hundred-page book out of it. And if it rains for 10 minutes, there are some units in the 7th floor that'll take damage. When you look at how many windows there are and how many windows we had the opportunities to inspect of the 53 units that we were able to walk of the hotel rooms, every single unit that myself or my crew had walked had temp repairs, new damages, old damages, but the temp repairs were uniform throughout every single window, which leads us to believe that a fair amount, at least over 50% of these windows are damaged. It's daunting.
Does it create a misconception?
Of course.
When you first get here?
When you get in here, I mean, they say first impressions are the most important, and when you walk in here and you see a for lease sign on the hotel registration because it's too damaged for them to run the check-in desk, and the check-in desk has to actually be across the street from the site, it throws the whole hotel experience off. I mean, we've seen guests literally come from the airport because it's only 4.5 miles away. They booked way back in Chicago, and when they arrive, they are disheartened because, you know, they see what the resort was, and they look and they see what it is, and I mean, it absolutely affects the level of business, and from a maintenance perspective, there's simply not enough hireable staff within reason.
This is a loss overview. To recap the damages that have been outlined further at the beginning of this video and in the estimate attached. 100% of the Spanish tiles will need to be replaced. These tiles are over 40 years old. They were made in Venezuela. There's no hope of patching this. They all must be replaced. Without a doubt, it's going to be required to replace all of the flat roofs. In addition to full replacement, code requirements will require that the repair be tapered with insulation panels, which will allow for non-ponding, no ponding on the structure, and an appropriate fall. This is a code item, not just for energy efficiency, but it helps the structure to be water-free long-term. All of the mechanical rooftop infrastructure will have to be detached. It has to be detached because the roof is being replaced, and when it is put back, it will all need to be new due to code and due to just the practicality of putting this back in. We see all over the property damage to soft metals. These particular ventilation units are a good example of damage to ventilation, which is causing steady damage to the structure. All of the chases, the chase covers will need to be replaced. They will also need to have curbs or platforms be built for them new when the new roof goes on. The water damage to all of the flat roofs is evident. We see it in thermal, and we see it in practical examples of water movement and water destruction. The modified bitumen roofing is severely damaged, needs to be replaced with all due haste, in full. Plaster has fallen off of this building from the storm. It has created divots and cracks and damages, some of which have been temporarily repaired just to stop water entry into the structure. We even see this to some degree on the inside of the building, right in the front where the stairs are. All of the acoustic ceiling tiles in the first floor and the second floor will need to be replaced. They've already been temporarily replaced. Mitigation and reconstruction needs to happen in all of the water damaged units, and the neglect of these for funding this claim is obviously causing greater damage. All of the windows must be changed. The windows need to meet current code and have completely failed due to the hurricane damage. It's important to note that some stucco will need to be repaired. The plaster, drywall, and carpet. Plaster needs to be removed and replaced in many locations. Drywall removed and replaced in many locations. Plaster needs to be repaired in many locations. Trim needs to be replaced in many locations. And 100% of the carpet needs to be replaced. The temporary repairs should not be considered permanent repairs. Even the panels, the copper panels on the hallways need to be replaced, as well as on the first floor. And finally, an elevator must be replaced after severe water damage. The Hollywood Beach Resort suffered a severe blow on September the 11th, 2018. It does not take a long time to see severe damage from the inside and the exterior of all sides of this property. The repairs will take over $30 million, and all due haste is needed in addressing this need.